Hi, welcome to my learning and teaching interaction number 3. This week I decided to look a little bit more at some of the questions that have been posed over the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to start with, why is it important to have a clear understanding of your vision and the program goals and objectives for your Family Life Education program before assessing the Family Life Education program? It is important to have a clear understanding of our vision before assessing the program, because if we do not understand our goals, we cannot possibly determine if we have been successful. If we wander without a purpose, we have been unsuccessful and the program has failed. But I think that family life education is, as well as in life in general, educational and enlightening. If our participants come away with insight and new ideas, we have done our part in helping them in achieving our goals. Success is found as we realize and achieve our goals, living out our ambitions. This reminds me of a math class I'm taking. The goal is to learn math, but the objective is to master each part of the process so that I can eventually reach my goal of understanding the equations. This is not a one and done, but a continual process. Math is really hard for me, and each of these objectives is not my favorite thing, but as I work towards reaching those objectives, I can eventually, hopefully, reach my goal of learning the math. More importantly, at the moment, passing the class, but we'll get there, hopefully. Looking at the logical model approach, going along with my math class example, as I work towards my goal, I input my time and energy, gaining an output of greater understanding, even though the understanding grows slowly. In the short term, I'm earning a good grade on my assignments. In the medium term, I will do well on my exams, hopefully. And in the long term, I will pass my class and understand the concepts. Both of those are pretty significant goals to me at the moment. Then I took a look at, what is your role and responsibilities in working with families as a family life educator? If you had to choose 3 words that best describe the role of family life educator, what would that be? Or what would they be? When working with families as a family life educator, my role and responsibility is to share helpful strategies, lessons, and ideas that will help the family or individual to be more successful. I'm not a counselor, but a resource for good information that will help them better their own lives and relationships. Choosing 3 words was really difficult for me. I went through a whole lot of words before I figured out what I kind of wanted to say. So if I had to choose 3 words that best describe the role of a family life educator, they would be plan, teach, follow up. As we teach individuals and families, we must prepare and we must plan. We must present or teach, and then we have to follow up. These things have been taught to us over and over again, so they must be pretty important. Something else that I looked at was the professional ethics in practice. We must be aware of what we're doing and how it can affect others. We are not counselors, and we should absolutely not pretend to be or cross the line with our participants. The code of ethics is in place for a very important reason, and that is so that we have a clear understanding of where we stand and what we can and cannot do in our practice. I really enjoyed the activity that we did last week with our partners, going through the code of ethics in relation to the 2 case studies. It was really fun to look at with Katie, my partner, the different ethics and codes that apply to each different example. There were some pretty good lessons learned, and it helped me to better understand my part in family life education as opposed to a counselor's role or somebody else working with the family. I took another look at the LFI model and the different levels that were talked about. Level 2 is the information and advice level. Level 3 is feelings and support. And level 4 is brief focused intervention. Level 5 is family therapy. Level 2 is simple for us as educators because we are prepared to teach and share ideas with our participants. Level 4 goes along with level 2, but includes things like challenges or homework assignments or more follow-up activities. But level 3 is difficult, especially as we are so new to the idea of family life education, and especially its practice. It can be really difficult to distinguish between feelings and support and going into level 5 and crossing that therapy line. I know for myself, I thought that I should never share anything personal in the beginning. That kept me a little bit boxed up, and I think I didn't connect as well with my participant as I could have. But now I still keep most of my personal elements to myself, but I learned that it's not a bad thing to throw in a couple personal thoughts or how things might apply in different ways. That helped me to better connect with my participant and my partner also, because we need to connect as well. How can the Family Life Education Code of Ethics strengthen your practice and the relationships with those whom you teach? When we follow the Code of Ethics, we are setting ourselves up for success. Following the Code of Ethics helps us to ensure that we're doing the right things and that our efforts will be most beneficial to our participants. Crossing lines in the ethical code is a recipe for disaster, as we can get in trouble and jeopardize the program. I really love the Code of Ethics because it is a safety net for me. It makes me think of the commandments and how many people see them as chains and bonds meant to hold us down and make sure that we never have any fun. Unfortunately for them, they are entirely missing out on the point. The commandments are in place so that we can be free from bondage. We are expected to obey Heavenly Father, and that is a big part of it. But in general, the commandments keep us free so that we can pursue righteous goals and desires. As family life educators, it's really important that we follow the Code of Ethics, and that has been described over and over again in our readings. As we follow those codes and we do what we're supposed to do, we can find success in family life education. And that's all I have.